What is up, guys? My name is Eric and I am your friendly Nidalee main. Just for credibility's sake, I'll just show you this. I currently have the most number of Nidalee games in North America, and as you can see, I play Nidalee quite a lot. That's just to give some credibility. Maybe you can think, this guy might know what he's talking about, but again, everything I say you should take with a grain of salt. But right now, these are the Nidalee nerfs, or the Nidalee nerfs that are currently proposed on Cloth 5 and Surrender at 20 and all those websites. They all seem to agree with each other. And for the most part, I can agree with the base AD reduction, reduce her laning oppressiveness quite a bit. I think with this reduction, any sustained champion is going to have a much easier time laning against her. Nasus might be able to beat her. Akali will definitely be able to shit on her. Irelia will now destroy her. Maybe even Riven, because she builds an early lifesteal item and she has a shield that mitigates a lot of the damage, will beat her. I feel that she's going to have a lot more counters coming up this next patch. And that's going to be a big problem for Nidalee players. But, I can understand that. Her laning was a big problem, and that needed to be addressed. So they did address that. But the thing that concerns me is the decision to, on top of lowering the base AD, which will also impact her early takedown damage, they've decided to nerf her takedown AD ratio. And I'm a little wishy-washy on this. I'm not sure if there's a hidden mechanic they're adding behind this. But what they're doing to justify this attack damage ratio reduction is adding an ability power ratio. This ability power ratio is jack shit. It doesn't mean anything. Adding a 0.06 AP ratio for a 0.2 reduction in AD, this is a massive nerf, and this isn't going to justify building AP again. This is essentially useless. You're not going to build AP on Nidalee just because you've gained an extra 0.06 AP on your Cougar Form Q. So this additional AP ratio might as well just be removed from the roster. It's not going to add any DPS, and it's not going to really impact Nidalee builds at all. But the thing that concerns me the most is the fact that this is a massive nerf, and I think that this is something that needs to be addressed further. Now, the fact that this is a site that is not Riot sponsored, there may be a hidden mechanic that they're not mentioning here, and I'm hoping this is the case. I remember when they initially proposed kit changes to Nidalee, they were going to change the way that takedown worked and change the threshold value where it would max out to 25% health. Currently, it's impossible for Nidalee takedown to deal 3.3 AD ratio. Currently, your enemy has to have 0 health in order for you to deal maximum damage on takedown. If they're changing it so that your enemy has to have a minimum threshold value of health to max on your takedown damage, I could say, you know what, this isn't as horrifying a nerf. For example, if your enemy has 25% health, you'll deal 2.67 damage. If that's the case, I could say, you know what, that's fine. But as of right now, the way that her Cougar form is being modified, if they're not adding this threshold value, this nerf is going to cause massive amounts of trouble. This combined with this are going to cause massive amounts of trouble. The base attack speed, not really going to impact her. They could have left that out and no one would know any different. And the takedown Cougar form ability power ratio, literally this does nothing. This is worthless. But these two alone, she's going to go from a 47% win rate to a 43% win rate, almost guaranteed. I'm not going to promise to eat my sock or something, but I would bet $50 that she's going to see a sub 43, maybe even 42% win rate because of these two nerfs. And that's barring the fact that they don't mention a minimum threshold value for their health. If they are making it so that your Cougar form can actually cap out before the enemy has less than 0% health, then I could say, you know what, this isn't as horrifying, maybe this is good. But with the current way it works, it looks as if Riot's just trying to Olaf her and maybe push her to the back burner and work on her currently. And this does not seem like a finalized modification. I think they're going to end up having to buff her after this if they're not adding that little threshold ratio. But hopefully they are. I'm not actually sure, and Riot hasn't really made any statements about it. But hopefully that is the case. Maybe if any Riot employees are watching this, if you could shed some light on whether or not that's the case, that would be great. But thanks for watching. Hopefully Nidalee isn't gutted too heavily, but I can almost guarantee you if these are the changes and nothing else that is shown here, and nothing else is shown here. Sorry, let me try and phrase this. If these are the only changes and Riot doesn't plan on adding anything else that's not shown here, then she's going to see a pretty horrifying drop in win rate, and her ban rate will go all the way back down to 0. And that's probably not healthy. But again, you should take what I say with a grain of salt. I am not the master of all. I'm not a Diamond 1 Challenger master level Nidalee player. I am a very good Nidalee player, but my map awareness and all that jazz is not all that great. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a pretty big nerf. just based on the sheer number of games I've played with Nidalee and the number of different builds I've tested out, I cannot think of any way that this is going to help her. And I guess I can emphasize what I mean by that. Right now, for Nidalee to be effective, she has to build tanky items. She cannot dive in on the enemy team, and she can't duel because she's just innately super squishy. Like, there's nothing you can do if you're not tanky. And so with these modifications to her AD, she now has to add an AD, probably one extra AD item in order to keep up with the amount of damage she was dealing previously. And on top of that, they're lowering they're lowering the ratio, so she's gonna have trouble dealing as much damage as previously. So now she's gonna have to build way more tanky in order to be able to duel the same people, or she's gonna have to build a little bit more AD to have the same effect. And regardless, either way, she's gonna be coming out way squishier or way less damage dealing. And while that may be what Riot wants, she's essentially just going to be a brick wall or an AD carry, but a shitty version of an AD carry, and I don't think that's what we wanted. But regardless, I'm rambling now, and I don't really have any planned words here. I haven't thought any of this out, so I don't want to keep going. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments on these proposed nerfs, feel free to let me know. If you think that maybe they're not as bad, or if you know anything that they haven't mentioned here, that'd be great if you could share that. But thanks for watching again, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the future.